Hello, I'm Dr. Beech, and sometimes patients come in and tell me during the course of a discussion that they're feeling tired or heavy after eating, especially after eating a large meal. Sometimes after lunch, they'll feel tired in the afternoons, either right after the meal or an hour or so after the meal. And they ask me if I know why that's occurring. As Ayurveda explains that very nicely, and it's well understood, that if the food that we're eating is either too heavy or the digestive fire is too weak, or both, then as that fire is put out by either too heavy of food or too weak of fire, then what happens is we create some toxins. This is called ama in Ayurveda term, which means a mucousy kind of sticky substance that's produced. It's basically the product of bad digestion that occurs, and then that ama then goes and clogs the channels through which we oxygenate the system, and we start to feel heavy and tired. So when we feel that sense of fatigue after eating, or just dullness, or a lack of enthusiasm, that means that we're creating some ama, some toxins in the system, because either the food is inappropriate or the digestive system isn't strong enough to handle the food that we're eating. And then there are things that we can do to help that. So that's one of those signs that we look for in a patient. Many times we'll ask, how do you feel after you eat? And that question comes up. I'll ask patients that question a lot, and there are basically a few answers that I'm looking for. One is heaviness, tiredness, dullness. Another one could be burning, which would be too much acid. Sometimes gas and bloating, which means typically that the digestive enzymes aren't sufficient to be breaking down the food properly, so there'll be gas and bloating. And then another one that I hear after eating is just feeling flat, not feeling anything, good or bad. And what we're looking for when digestion is really good is that we feel energetic and happy after we eat, that we feel enthusiasm, and we feel like we want to be engaged in activity. So anything other than feeling that happiness and lightness after eating is basically a sign that something is not quite right with the digestive system. So what do we do to fix this? Well, one thing is to look at the diet and to make sure that the diet is appropriate for that person and that it's light enough that they can digest it. So eating fresh foods, eating fresh vegetables, whole grains, fresh fruits, and those types of foods, what we call intelligent food or live food, that's easier for the body to digest, and also cooked properly, not with bad oils, and certainly not without any sort of spices. Spices are necessary for digestion. Eating a live food and intelligent food will be lighter and easier for the body to digest and will not have a tendency to overwhelm the digestive fire and make us feel heavy and tired after we eat. Another thing is sitting after you eat for about 5 or 10 minutes and allowing that digestive process to start up properly. Sometimes we just eat and then get up and go. And when we do that, we're taking all the energy away from the digestion and bringing it back to the mind and the body to be active. All the blood's going somewhere else, and that disturbs the digestive process. My guru, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, used to say, well begun is half done. And it's that way with digestion. Well begun means to sit when we're eating, be quiet when we're eating, not to be engaged in other activities, just sit quietly and have maybe nice conversation, but don't do business or be on the computer or on the phone or something while eating. And then after that, sitting for 5 or 10 minutes and just allowing the digestion process to start. That does a lot to keep the digestive fire strong. And then the next thing is, if in spite of those things you're still feeling heavy, then there may need to be some remedial work that needs to be done to improve the digestive strength. And we have certain herbs and certain spices, certain ways of cooking the food that can certainly help that. So if you're having those kinds of symptoms, you're feeling some tiredness, some heaviness, or bloating, gas, burning, anything like that, then make sure that you contact us and schedule a consultation with me so we can sit down and go over your individual situation. Thank you very much.